Tonight we reach the conclusion of an effort that started nearly 20 years ago. Tonight we finalize the fundraising effort to build a permanent marker for the Brickyard Cemetery. For those not familiar with the Brickyard Cemetery, I will share a brief history. In 1904, the Dallas Pressed Brick Company opened operations on land between Dallas and Mesquite. The owner of the company, Schuler Marshall Sr., donated several acres of his land to the African American workers in his company for a church, a school, homes, and a cemetery. The community was located in the area of Peachtree and Military Parkway. The cemetery was located close to the railroad tracks, just east of what is now Peachtree Road. The plant was sold in the 1920s to the Ferris Brick Company and was eventually closed in 1950. The residents of the community and their families moved away. The last burial in the cemetery was believed to be in 1945. The land and the houses were abandoned, and all structures were eventually cleared for other development. The cemetery was never registered with the state or county, and therefore there was never a caretaker for the grounds. Longtime residents of Mesquite will remember the rows of granite headstones along the sloping landscape. Eventually, the headstones were removed as they deteriorated, but the stories of the cemetery persisted in our community's history. In the late 1990s, interest in the land grew to the point where city staff feared development on the property might disturb the cemetery. An effort was made to preserve the site. Contact was made with Les Callison, who handled real estate for the property owner. Mr. Callison worked with the owners, Bill and Margie Abraham, to sell the property to the city of Mesquite at a greatly reduced price. Mr. Callison is here tonight, and I would like to have him stand to be recognized for his efforts in obtaining the property and permanently protecting it from development. Les, would you mind standing so we can recognize you? After obtaining the property, an archaeological study was performed to identify the grave sites and the boundaries of the cemetery and made sure that it was surveyed for permanent record. A historical designation was obtained from the state, and efforts to memorialize those buried on the site began. Architect Johnny Booth and members of local architects associations donated their services to design a memorial. This would not have been possible without the urging of Mr. William Richardson, who was one of several members of the community who worked on this project. And Mr. Richardson is here, and he's standing in the back. Thank you for your efforts. Over time, various efforts were made to raise funds for this project, but due to different needs in the community, the effort never could gain the interest needed to complete the memorial. However, last year, Tia Collier reached out and expressed an interest in getting the project done. Tia is responsible for getting this project back into our conversation and moving it towards completion. I would like Tia to stand to be recognized tonight as well. Along with Tia, there was a committee of citizens who formed to help spread the word about the cemetery and help us achieve the final design of the marker. I would like to ask Debbie Anderson, Janice Bell, Ron Abraham, Sherry Williams, Henry Brown, Donna Woodard, and Jordan Gortmaker to stand to be recognized as the committee who have brought this to conclusion. Finally, I would like to recognize two individuals who never gave up on this project. First is Charlene Orr, Historic Preservation Officer for the city. It was her diligence that brought attention to the cemetery and guided the necessary steps to preserve the site. She helped obtain the funds for the property purchase from the city. She guided the archaeological study and obtained the state historic designation. Without her passion for the history of this community, I'm not sure we would be here today celebrating this milestone. Charlene, would you please stand to be recognized? And finally, I would like to recognize Denise Upchurch. She was the heart and soul of this project. She never gave up on the idea of a permanent recognition for those buried at this cemetery. She had the passion to ensure that this was not a forgotten piece of our community's history. She gave up many hours for meetings, fundraising, and just talking to about anybody who would listen about the project to keep it moving forward. Denise, I'm finally glad we're here today, so please stand to recognize your efforts. I would like to commend all of the individuals who were named tonight and those who were not for all of their efforts. Without you, we would not be to a point to recognize this cemetery and this piece of Mesquite's history. So Mayor, members of the council, tonight we will accept a check in the amount of $7,000 from Historic Mesquite Incorporated. This brings the total funds raised to over $15,000 and will cover the cost of building a marker to be displayed and that is shown on the screen in front of you. It is our plan to dedicate this marker this summer. So council, will you please join me down front in front of the dais, and I would like to ask Tia Collier, Denise Upchurch, along with Donna Woodard and Charlene Orr, representing Historic Mesquite, to present the check. Upon hearing about this project, State Representative Victoria Neave wanted to participate as well, so we have an additional presentation tonight.
Thank you so much. My name is Victoria Neave. I'm honored to serve as state representative for part of House District 107, which covers parts of Mesquite, part of South Garland, and part of East Dallas. And as we're here today, I just want to congratulate the committee on behalf of our office. And as we know, Black history, it's a continuous tell of progress and unity and building alliances brick by brick. And just hearing about this and all of the work that this whole committee has been doing, we want to thank you on behalf of our office and congratulate you and look forward to working together on the formal presentation and installation of the monument. So congratulations to you. So yes, thank you.
In typical fashion, Denise Upchurch did not want to share all of the, take all of the credit for keeping this, the Brickyard alive, and I was remiss in not recognizing Judge Holloman for his efforts in this fundraising and keeping this program going throughout many years. So if you would, please, he's no longer with us, but he was a vital part early on in the fundraising. So if you would please help me remember Judge Holloman. Thank you.